Well, hi there and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Lights. I'm joined by David Jennings this week, sitting in beside us, and of course Johnny Ward as always. And a little later on in the show, check out more of our interview with Damien English, where we went down to his yard and chat a little bit about what he does sort of differently with other trainers. And well, it worked very well last week, a winner for him, his 50th career winner too. And we're going to start the action this evening at 7:30 with the feature event of the day, the Group 3 Desmond Stakes, and you both have selections in this. We do.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Will I set the bar high? A little bit disappointing. Capri was entered in this. There was a couple of higher rated horses entered. The one I've come down on a little bit reluctantly is Calaxana, Ulster Oaks winner earlier on in the season. I just didn't think she liked being in front last time at Leopardstown. She ran against Rostropovich. You know, it was a proper race, very quick ground that day at Leopardstown. We've seen so many horses didn't handle it. I think she's better than that. It was interesting to hear Pat Smullen talking about her on a preview programme at Leopardstown that day. He thinks the world of her. He thinks we haven't seen the best of her yet. Her second to Sizzling in the Give Thanks Stakes at Cork reads pretty well now, given what Sizzling has done since. And by process of elimination, I think she's the one. She handles the track. I still think she's improving if you forget the last day. So by process of elimination, I think she's the most likely winner.
Yeah, sure. Any other of these would have finished last in that race as well. Anyway, so Johnny, what do you fancy in Desmond Stakes?
I'm going with Global Giant. I think this horse hasn't actually run on the all-weather, but he's definitely bred to like it. And he was fifth to Hunting Horn actually earlier on in the season, and the trip is pretty much fine. His rating gives him every chance. I thought it was very trappy. I like Ming, he's very progressive. Just a little bit worried about the layoff. He hasn't been seen in a few months.
He ran at Arlington last time, didn't he?
Yeah, and they just...
He's probably a bit flattered by his rating on that as well, isn't he?
Yeah, like
he walloped up £12 or something for it.
Yeah, I guess he's I'm not 100% sure he'll be in love with this surface either. As much as his best form is definitely on turf. And it is a trappy race, so I think Global Giant's very straightforward, but wouldn't be one of my bets of the night now or anything like that.
Okay, let's move on to some of the bets of the night. In the 8 o'clock, that handicap over a mile and a half. I kind of came down with two here, Boho and perhaps the kid Bobby B, but you guys are thinking differently.
I think we're in agreement here, JW.
Yeah, I'm with Spiral Galaxy. I was actually in Wolverhampton when this horse won last time, and I spoke to Anthony McCann
John's
before
Tales
the race.
Of Woe at Wolverhampton.
Yeah. But it was great scenes. Like there were so many people there from Monaghan, and it was actually like there was a great celebration. But I couldn't help but think of Oliver Brady, because he wants to go an ambitious hurdling campaign with this horse. I think he wants to go. I think he's 4 now, is he? So he's obviously not a triumph hurdle horse, but he could go like the supreme novice hurdle this season. Like I know it sounds avaricious, but
yeah, but remember every single Cheltenham preview night you used to be at back in the day, and you'd always go, "I've got one, lads. I've got one, lads. Give me 200 to 1 to the bookies."
If he takes her, if he wins this, he's rated 87. That would put him in the 90s, right? Why wouldn't he make a hurdler? You know, he's a lot of toe, and Geno has a bit of a tale about his wind as well. I think he was a tongue tie for the first time, but the more I looked at the race, I couldn't really put up anything to beat him. I thought it was pretty winnable.
Yeah, I like Spiral Galaxy as well. I met Anthony McCann, who's what a legend of a guy, like real jolly character. I love, you know, when you're talking to him, he probably could put you away because he fancies so many of his horses. But I said, give us one for the week, give us one for the week. Probably didn't think I'd be saying it live on air on Friday Night Lights, but he said Spiral Galaxy, he'll win it on Dock on Friday night. He said his win done. He said he worked since he's had his win done, and I think he worked brilliantly. And I just think he's progressive. I know he's up to a mark of 87 now. He won off 82 at Wolverhampton. Like when he won off 74 at Navan earlier on in the season, it's one of the most impressive handicap winners I've seen at Navan all season. It's very hard to win by a wide margin a handicap at Navan, and he absolutely bolted up that day. He looks a different horse. He seems to be enjoying his new surroundings. And yeah, he is top weight, but he's top weight for a reason. I think he's the best horse he has. And I'm just hoping he can continue to progress, and it could be a great winter for him as well.
You say he's a lot of horses for the winter, doesn't he?
Yeah, he said he's loads of horses saved for Dundalk. Dundalk's going to be really competitive. I think he said he had about 30 horses for Dundalk. I'm wondering how many he has in the yards. You know, he must have not much more than that, I would have thought. So it's just a great.
His horses are running well. Like that's not me running the maiden the other night was second, but it was only rated I think in the 60s. It was second in a maiden at Fairy House. So even the ones that, you know, you're expecting to run okay are running really well. So that would bode well for Spiral Galaxy.
It's actually a half brother to Indian Icon as well, who's a hurdle winner I'm seeing here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him over hurdles. He probably wouldn't want soft ground though.
Right, let's move on to the some classics on the card then. Proper, a mile and a half, 45 to 65, 2 divisions. Go on, we'll start with you. I'll kick it off. Shake the Bucket, right? Love this horse. He's on a winnable mark of 44. He could do this because he's drawn quite well. I think he could run well here. What do you fancy, Jay?
What age is Shake the Bucket?
11.
Of interest. 11?
11, yeah, rising 12.
So he was running when he was 1. He's, look, that'd be a great story. I'm going to go for Arctic Sophia here. For, like Anthony McCann, Garrett Power. an absolute gentleman at the game.
Good trainer
He's
as
one
well.
of these trainers that you just love to see getting one really good horse. That'd put him on the map. Really, really good guy. I think the world of him. Arctic Sophia is rated 90 over hurdles now, but just hasn't been the most natural of jumpers. Just the last 8 Wexford, just kind of stumbled into a few. Looked like winning actually in the home turn. It traded odds on and running. Back on the flat off a mark of 50. Shamey Heffernan is booked to ride. I'd imagine this has been the plan for the last couple of weeks. And yeah, Arctic Sophia unexposed against a lot of exposed handicappers like Shake the Bucket.
Like Shake the Bucket, but he's dropping down. Go on, Johnny.
I like Topamichi here. I think this horse is very interesting. It was with Mick Appleby. And Michael Brown doesn't have it that long. Shamey Heffernan takes the ride. It ran reasonably
He couldn't
well.
take the ride because he rides mine. Oh, mine's in the 9 o'clock. What are you on?
Yeah,
You're on the 8:30.
8:30.
You're in the wrong
Shamey
race.
Heffernan could have a double.
He's going to win both divisions of the 45
And he's
to
going to
65.
win. He's going to win the same race twice.
He's going to win, I think, on Topamichi. This horse down to 50. Didn't run badly. I really like the rider booking here. I think I have the winner of the other division as well. Who's probably my bet of the night is in the other division.
Who's
That's
that?
what I was talking about.
And that is Los Alamos.
That will win.
Go on,
This
let's
horse,
make your case.
by Galileo, he won a bumper easily, and that was only last year, I think. I remember him being well backed in Dundalk to win a maiden. That was over the extended 10 furlongs. And he ran poorly enough on that occasion, but he's down to 56 now. He's Galileo bred, as I said. He goes fine on the surface. They've given him a little bit of time. He's been off for, I think, a couple of months or so. This is a desperate race. This is like, I really went through it and looked at Park Row, and after that there's very little general selection to have a bit of a chance. But a Galileo horse rated 56 was bolted up in a bumper for a yard that couldn't be in better form for what's going to be the champion jockey, drawn 4. Now you have to look at the market. You know, the philanthropist that is JP came out in force with his money to the GA last week, but this is a horse.
Would he ever give a few bob to journalists? No. He's giving it to everybody else.
I don't think he should be, to be fair.
No.
Yeah, I think you need to follow the market a bit, but let's take a chance that he's backed.
Good stuff. Well, let's turn back to our little weekend morning in Mornington with Damien English and hear a little bit more about what he does to get his horses so sweet for the winter campaign. Oh, down here at the yard of Damien English. Damien, this place and the way you work your horse is completely different, isn't it? Just talk us through it.
Yeah, no, look, we've very little facilities. Like we've no walkers, no gallops, nothing like that. So we're blessed that we're so close to the beach. As you've seen this morning, the horses love it down there. We get down most mornings. They'll have their walk in their sea. Like we get them out in their paddocks. We try and keep it as simple, keep it as natural as possible. They love getting out. The horses, they're naturally competitive. We just get them that they're fit, sound and healthy, and then leave the rest of them. Like we've tip away Dundalk, 35 minutes up the road now. We're going to get busy for this winter. I think we've our nicest stringer horses this year for Dundalk. Look, we just like to get their heads down, get them out in grass, get them enjoying their work. You know, and once they start enjoying it, and the whole system's so simple then with Dundalk, like it's routine Monday to Friday. The horses love routine, and once you get into that Monday to Friday in Dundalk, it's the same thing every day. They're bouncing, keep them fresh and happy, and try and win as much prize money as we can. Absolutely, and you just talk about that working on the beach. I mean, you literally bring them down, bring them for a spin, and then walk in the sea and roll in the sand. Yeah, that's it. Keep it simple. Like it's just trying not to complicate it. Trying to keep it as safe as possible. Like the beach is just a straight line. You know, it's very hard to hurt horses down there, and you're straight into the sea afterwards. So any injuries and that, you know, the salt water is brilliant for them. Like this fella said to me, 3 minutes in the sea is worth an hour in the spa. You know, so we're blessed to have it, and like the horses thrive with it. And you're buying them out of these bigger yards in England and that, they're used to the same thing. They're going around walkers the whole time. Like they never see a walker here. We try and get them out in their paddock for an hour before the road and let them stretch their own legs, and they love it. You know, just keeping happy, healthy horses really. And so talking about that, getting horses in, what do you kind of look like? What do you look for when you're getting new horses in? Yeah, well, look, it's a horse and training sale is brilliant because you're buying horses that have proven ability. You know, for some reason or another, they've won at 2, maybe not won as 3, and they're being sold as 4-year-olds. So you're guaranteed that they have ability because they've won at 2. So for some reason or other, they've lost their way, and we just try and figure that out. Like we'll get them back, and we give great vets, we have a great team, and we come back from the sales, we get their teeth done, we get them checked from head to toe, see what's wrong physically, and then just try and sweeten them up. You know, because the ability's there. There's no hiding it. You know, when you're going to buy yearlings and that, you're buying on the look of the horse and the pedigree and that. Where it's lots more simple going over the horse and training sales because you're buying proven ability. Yeah. And I suppose here and this facility and what you've got, I mean, you're not really in the game that long, but you seem to be constantly developing. Yeah, no, look, we've learned so much since we started. It all happened by chance. I was trying to be an amateur jockey, struggling, and got a bad injury and couldn't ride for a year or so. So my dad said, look, what about going training? So we had a couple of pointers and we ran them on the track, and they were slow as boats, and said, look, I don't think we're going to do this with national hunt horses. So my dad gave me 3,000 and we invested three horses, 1,000 each. Cash of Casualty won 9, was placed 27 times. Isle of Blaze won 3 in the bounce, won a 30 grand handicap, and then we breezed the other one and sold them for 7.5 grand. So they were the first 3 horses we bought. You know, so we kind of thought, geez, we got a bit lucky. So we went back, bought a few more yearlings, and it was just hard to buy the yearlings at that price. Yeah. So we went over to Newmarket then, and the first 2 we bought over there was Astad for 1,000. He won 4 for us, and Tribal, he won 6 for us. So kind of that was our first taste of that. And then we went back over there. We picked up Geological then, 800, Blues Breaker 800, and then we stepped it up the following year. We paid 5 grand for Dance Alone, and 14 grand for Red Avenger. He was the dearest, but he won 3 in the bounce straight after Lurry. So yeah, it's been such a great sale for us. Then last year we bought Mockalad. He's won twice now. Alfred, he's a winner. He runs on Friday in the dock. He hopefully have a big chance. And you know, we seem to just pick up a knack there for going over, picking up these horses and freshening them up and cracking on with them.
Well, Damien mentioned Alfred, of course, he won last week, and that was his 50th career winner as well. Hopefully he can have another couple on Friday night. Right, time for our best bets of Friday Night Lights. We'll start with you, Jenna. Go on.
Spiral Galaxy #1. Really hope he wins the 8 o'clock for Anthony McCann. Calaxana in the Desmond Stakes at 7:30, and reluctantly, because Johnny made a good case for Las Alamos, who could be absolutely chucked in. It's one of these ones with Las Alamos. When you started to talk about Las Alamos, I was going, oh, I hate this horse. This is no chance.
Putting a saver on it and backing your own.
But the more you think about it, if you do see money for Las Alamos, he could be absolutely chucked in. So that's obviously scared of Las Alamos, but I'm going to go for Arctic Sophia each way against Johnny's selection in the 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Garrett Power. Maybe we can get the forecast up on that. But my in-app is Los Alamos. I know it's a bit speculative, but I just have a feeling tonight or tomorrow night might be the night. And Spiral Galaxy is my next best class act in the race. And Top Amici, all over the 1.5 distance at Dundalk. Hoping to be there myself tomorrow night. So if you're down there, just say hello. Will
do. Right, and in the 7 o'clock, my best bet there is Lost Treasure for Aidan O'Brien. He could be amongst the winners. Tribal Path in the 6:30, and also I'm going to pop up Park Row in the Lucky Last as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week for more Friday Night Lights.